That's all right.
There we go. We're recording in progress. There we go.
But,
Um, so yeah, I mean, again, thank you so much, Kassim, for joining us this evening.
no, not at all.
And I think kind of over to you, really, because we had a really nice conversation last month about calcium and vitamin D and how there's a lot of confusion there. And I think that cleared a lot of areas up for a lot of people, including myself. And
Okay.
yeah,
So,
over to you.
thank you very much. So I'll just share. Oh, can I share my screen?
Yeah, here we go. I'm just going to permit
Question.
that.
Great. Thinking. Share this one. Okie dokie. Can you see my screen? No.
Not yet.
Oh, gosh. We had a we had a Teams meeting with our nurses this morning, and I kid you not, I was about to throw one of the nurses was about to throw her laptop in the bin.
Oh no.
There we go.
Oh, there we are. We can see your presentation is in full screen now.
Good, excellent. So my name's Kassim Javaid. I'm a rheumatologist in Oxford, and very lucky to work with Oliver on XLH related matters. And this is not the definitive guide to parathyroid and XLH. So if you're a medic or a researcher, you'll think, what the heck is all this? What I'm going to try and communicate to you, because it is quite complicated, it gets quite jargony, but hopefully by the end of it, you'll have a rough idea of what the doctors are talking about. It is way more complicated, I'm going to show you, but this is kind of the basics of what you need to know about parathyroid hormone and XLH. So first of all, what the heck is parathyroid hormone? Well, parathyroid hormone is made by four glands just below your voice box, and they sit on near the thyroid gland. They've got nothing to do with thyroid disease, it's parathyroid disease. And basically, the main role of PTH, or parathyroid hormone, as we like to call it, we get the pointer working. Oh, it's on draw. I don't want to draw. I just want to point. Is that working?
Yeah, I can see your mouse.
Okay, my mouse is good enough.
Yeah.
The main role for parathyroid hormone is it makes the blood calcium go up. And the reason that's really important is that blood calcium is in a very tight range of concentration because it's super important for things like your heart, your muscles, and your nerves. So the body tries really hard to keep it in the normal range. And because calcium's quite hard to get, there's only certain foods with it. There's a huge reserve in your skeleton, and the kidney is the other way you can regulate it. And what tends to happen if you have a low calcium, you stimulate the parathyroid glands, they make more PTH, and what it does, it sort of slowly shreds the bone. So you lose calcium and phosphate from the bone to increase blood calcium, and it stops the kidneys from losing calcium, and that also increases blood calcium. So parathyroid hormone is really a calcium thing. Now you might be thinking, hang on, what's this got to do with XLH? XLH is a phosphate disease, not a calcium disease. Well, there's a little bit of a trick that nature's played on us. The other stimulation for a parathyroid hormone to be secreted is a high phosphate. And every time you take one of those Sandophoses, what happens is your blood phosphate spikes. And that spike in blood phosphate is enough to tickle the PTH to make more of the hormone. So if you keep taking high phosphate, you make more of the PTH. It will slowly degrade your bone, and it will work on your kidneys to save calcium. But because it increases the blood calcium, that can lead to quite bad things. So when you degrade the calcium in the bone, you can see this is like a super duper X-ray of the bone, and this is like the hard outside of a chicken bone, and the lovely crunchy like inside of a crunchy bar. This is normal, and this is what it happens with parathyroid disease. It just gets more shredded, it gets dissolved and releases the calcium. But more worryingly, because you've got more calcium in the system, you actually get overflow calcium loss. And this leads to really painful kidney stones, which can be a nightmare, as well as it actually calcifying the kidney itself. And we call that nephrocalcinosis or kidney calcinosis. So that's not good. Makes the bones weaker and makes you have more calcium in the kidneys in the wrong place. But the other thing it does is the parathyroid glands get super excited and they just get a bit bigger because they're constantly being stimulated to make more parathyroid gland. And you might have a high PTH level, which is fine. We don't like it very much, which I'll come on to later, but it's okay. But sometimes if the parathyroid gland gets stimulated too much, it sort of runs away and it goes crazy and makes really high levels of PTH and very high levels of calcium. And often you have to go for an operation where they remove the gland. It does fix the calcium, but you can actually take so many of the glands off, it can make the calcium go too low, and it can actually damage the nerve to the voice, the vocal cords, and that can make you have a hoarse voice. So that's why we're really worried about PTH in XLH. Now, in the old days, we used to give people alpha calcidol, and the reason we did that is because it basically takes out PTH. It really pushes it down and stops the effect of your phosphate supplements really triggering this cascade to more PTH as much as it can. And that's why we always say never take phosphate by itself, always take it with alpha calcidol or calcitriol, because you need to have that sort of counterbalance to stop the PTH excess. And as an added bonus, the activated vitamin D actually makes your phosphate absorption from the gut better. So when you take the alpha calcidol, what it does, it makes these consequences of having a high PTH less likely. So what about the other treatment for XLH, burosumab? Well, burosumab actually normalizes phosphate, as you all know, but it acts to lower PTH. So if you've already got a slightly high PTH because you've had phosphate and alpha calcidol all your life or a lot of your life, it should lower the amount of PTH in your blood as well. And sort of linking through to the last talk, there is a very important other bit to parathyroid hormone. I've talked about how having a low calcium makes it go higher. I've talked about having a high phosphate makes it go higher. There's also a role of vitamin D. And if your vitamin D levels are low, actually that can also make your PTH higher. And by doing that, your kidneys will lose more phosphate and it will tend to lower your blood phosphate. And it might actually make the burosumab less effective. Now, burosumab is super expensive. Vitamin D supplements are as cheap as chips. So we do say make sure you stay on your supplements. And from the last month's presentation, we talked about the different types of vitamin D. So we're talking about original parent vitamin D, like cholecalciferol or ergocalciferol. This is what we want you to take with burosumab. You must never, or almost never, take activated vitamin D with burosumab. It should only be done under specialist control, because then you can get into a lot of trouble. So to summarize, what it matters in XLH for you is for people who are on burosumab, you don't really want a low vitamin D because that actually can trigger more PTH, which means the kidneys may lose more phosphate, and you just need to take more of your basic vitamin D. But I want to say this again, you should not take alpha calcidol and calcitriol if you're on burosumab, unless a very clever doctor tells you to, who knows a lot about XLH, because it is really tiger territory. So I hope I've been able to summarize to you a little bit on parathyroid hormone. I'm happy to go through the slides. I realized it was quite quick for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, but I just wanted to give you, it's not that complicated if you remember a few basic things. I just thought I'd finish with the Rudy study. Shall I give you a quick update, Oliver?
Yeah. If you're, do you want me to continue recording?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
we've just got the records. We've got now up to 65 forms completed, which is brilliant.
Mm.
Only got 35 left. So if 35 more adults could complete their XLH forms and medication forms, we'll hit our target of 100. So thank you, everyone. Do keep filling them in every 6 months because that'd be really good. And we'll get that data. And the really cool thing is our stiffness questionnaire is now up to 60. And we're working on an analysis. And it's really underexplored, but we're showing very new ways that XLH is affecting stiffness. And the more people who fill it in, the more certain we can be of what we find. And that may change how we assess and manage people. So it's making a difference already. Let's need a few more patients. I'll go back to this slide probably, Oliver. That's probably the most important.
Yeah, thanks very much. I'm probably going to stop recording for the moment, and then people can sort of freely ask questions.